Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and for our next foray into interesting Z movie directors for Thanksgiving, we're going to take a look at Ted V. Mikels' Astro Zombies. Mikels is a very interesting character, you could say. He could probably get the moniker of world's most interesting man. He was a bodybuilder, hunter. He wore a boar's tusk necklace, filmmaker, and he also lived in a castle, or, well, more correctly, a mansion built like a castle. It looked like a castle, where he lived with what ostensibly would be considered a harem. He always had several girlfriends at the same time. At one point in his career, he wanted to make Beowulf with Arnold Schwarzenegger because they were both bodybuilders, so they had a connection there. Some of his other films include his most popular and well-known, The Corpse Grinders, in which a couple of cemetery workers sell bodies to a cat food company to make extra money. They don't tell them it's people. They have a machine, the corpse grinder, made out of cardboard, and they grind up the corpses and then sell the meat to the cat food company. And this starts to come to the attention of the authorities when cats start attacking their owners and eating them. Yeah. He also made a Blood Orgy of the She-Devils, which, despite its title, there is no blood, and there's not really an orgy. But you do get witches. And The Doll Squad, which was about 3 female crime fighters who went undercover to crack a big case. And Mikels claimed, he's passed away unfortunately, that Charlie's Angels was a ripoff of his movie. Maybe, or maybe not, but Aaron Spelling had a lot more pull in Hollywood than Mikels did, so. Hey gang, sorry to pop in like this, but as I was editing this together, I realized I had forgot to mention one of the producers on this film was Wayne Rogers. Yes, that Wayne Rogers, who played Trapper John on MASH and had another couple of sitcoms in the 80s. Well, I know he had House Calls in the 80s. In the 70s, I think he had a detective show, City of Angels. But anyways, of course, he ended his career as with an investment firm he started that catered to such friends as Peter Falk and James Caan. Yeah, he co-produced this film, if you can believe that. But, well, he hadn't gotten MASH yet, so he was still a struggling actor in his 30s. Just thought I should throw that in there. Well, we start out, as you saw in the beginning of the film, a woman is killed by a strange alien-looking individual. This is one of many murders, and it comes to the attention of the FBI, in which our main boss, not main character, but the boss, named Holman, who is played by Wendell Corey, a very popular character actor in the 50s and 60s, who, unfortunately, like Lon Chaney, had some demons that he tried to drink away, and that led to his early death in his 50s. He was in some really good films. He was in Killer is Loose as the killer. He was in Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window as the policeman friend of star James Stewart, and in the TV pilot Agent for Harm. And as we were introduced to him, although he's pretty functional, he looks stewed to the gills.
What we discuss here, gentlemen, must remain in the confines of this room. This is a very delicate situation. We are concerned with the mutilation murders that have occurred over the past 6 months.
Man, his pupils are like his whole eye. I shouldn't kid. But it's obvious he's reading his lines, and that he ain't not doing bad considering he looks like he's had a few before they yelled action. Anyway, the rest of the scene is taken up with the theory that Dr. DeMarco, who sadly was killed in a lab accident, might have had something to do with these murders, and his forensic evidence at the scene has given them a clue that the murders were committed by someone who's dead, and yet animated with, you know, some radiation and stuff, which ties in with Dr. DeMarco's theory of space travel being done by reanimated corpses with a a thought wave controller in their head. And maybe this is one of his experiments that he was working on when he died, that's been animated and has gone off. Problem with the circuitry or something. That's their theory anyways. But no time to deal with that. We're being introduced to the best character in the whole film. Satana. Played by Tura Satana. One of the ultimate cult film icons thanks to her appearance in Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. If you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about, with her karate skills and her extremely low-cut shirt. She was also in the Doll Squad and had a small part in Irma la Douce, and made a lot of appearances on TV and in other films as an exotic dancer, let's say. She did appear in both Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Girl from U.N.C.L.E., as well as Wild Wild West. And after she had left acting for many years, had gotten married, I believe, to a policeman, and became a homemaker, more or less, she was brought back into it by Mikels when he did 2 sequels to the Astro Zombies in the 2000s, 2004 and 2010. Sadly, she's no longer with us either. But she is meeting a contact who might have some big-time information for her about what's going on with Dr. DeMarco and these murders.
There were some complications, some additional expenses. I find the original price insufficient.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to change our deal?
Well, there were some risks that require more compensation.
Having been over a barrel, Satana and her Confederate Juan. Is it Juan? I'm sorry, he's on my notes. Excuse me, I need this. I need this. Thank you. Yes, you're upset. Go ahead and bite me. Ow. Juan. It was Juan. And then when he leaves, she has another Confederate take care of their double-crosser. And now we are introduced to new characters. It seems Dr. DeMarco isn't dead. he did build the Astro Zombie, as he calls them, and something went wrong and it got loose. So he's now working to build another one to go after that one. And here we are introduced to the big name in the film, John Carradine. And it is here that we get a lot of dialogue. Carradine monologues endlessly about what he is doing and why he's doing it. And we get long takes of him going over to machines, flipping dials, explaining why he's flipping these dials for this to his assistant, Franchot, yeah. Who, when not doing the doctor's bidding, has a bit of an experiment of his own to do. Yeah, they never explain it, and they never explain what happens to her either. It's just in there. Anyway, the FBI is working with Dr. Petrovich, who one of the agents is having a romance with one of his assistants, but he was a good friend of Dr. Markham's and was well aware of his work, so he's helping the FBI with this. After everyone leaves for the night, the doctor's other assistant comes to an untimely encounter, or I should say unfortunate encounter, with the Astro Zombie. Meanwhile, Satana and her two Confederates have discovered they're being watched, and while questioning the man, Satana proves she don't mess around.
Come on. Who are you? Kill him.
Why?
I said kill him!
Like I said, she don't mess around. After chastising one of her Confederates for questioning her orders, she tells him to get rid of the body, and they find his Confederate, and then they chase him around the apartment complex, or hotel complex, until Satana proves she's better than her Confederates again. I think you got him. You got him! How many bullets you got in that thing? Anyway, we cut back over to the doctor, who does some more monologuing about the creation of how he builds his things and everything, and very long scenes. Anyway, concluding that they identify the body used for the Astro Zombie. It was a man who was executed, and the FBI realized that Janine, the other assistant to Dr. Petrovich, had actually done some medical work with him at that prison at that time, and that she's the one he's actually trying to find. So she reluctantly agrees to go to be bait, and so she pretends to be busy at the lab, but he doesn't show. So when it's really late, they decide to take her home, and the lights aren't on. Well, while her boyfriend goes to check the lights, Janine goes to slip into something more comfortable. It looks bad for Janine. In fact, just when it seems it's all over, suddenly her boyfriend arrives. But he doesn't really save her. He gets thrown around the room. Something miraculous happens. Wonder why he stopped. What was the deal with the flashlight?
I'm at Janine's apartment. The Astro men tried to attack her. Now look, I knocked off what might be his power source. It looks like a storage cell or something. I don't know. No. He got away. Look, he grabbed my flashlight, shined it on what looks like photocell stuck in his forehead.
And this takes us to one of the goofiest things you will ever see in what was intended to be a serious horror film. Yes, he is running down the street with a flashlight on his head. Sorry. Anyway, while this has been going on, Juan, Santana's associate, has figured out how to triangulate the waves that would contact the Astro Zombie. They gleaned all this from the tape of him reading his notes, and that's what they bought earlier. So, with their triangulation, they find the estate of Dr. DeMarco. At which point, the Confederate that was always questioning her orders plans the old double cross. But he forgot who he's dealing with.
I knew I was right about you.
Yes, there are other governments whose agents pay a higher price than yours.
As always, Fowers, you're a fool.
I have taken up any more from you. I'm sorry, Juan. You must go too.
And Juan finally gets to use his knife.
Tyrus, my friend, we must part company.
Oh, he's one of those kind of killers. The giggling kind. Shorthand for he's not all there. Well, they go into the lab where Dr. DeMarco is working, and he's upset until he finds out they want to know about his stuff, and he's more than happy to tell them.
We just completed the photocell test and we're about to activate the heart system.
By all means, proceed.
And guess who arrives at that time?
What's happened to you? Frank, get a chair and help him to the energizer.
Of course, what nobody at the lab knows is that the clever FBI agents, who haven't really done much this film, realized that the Astro Zombie would have to get back to Dr. DeMarco's lab to get himself repaired. So they've been trailing him. And when they arrive, they surround the house, and one of them goes in to make an arrest. Kinda.
All right, hold it!
How did she miss? She's been a marksman this whole time. Plot convenience. He has plot immunity. Anyway, this somehow starts a tussle between Franco and Juan. Well, this doesn't set too well with the newly energized Astro Zombie, and he chases Juan outside where Juan doesn't get too far. Jeez! Talk about overkill. Oh. You ever seen the poster for Astro Zombie? Well, there is truth in advertising. He's got a machete, and he knows how to use it. It looks bad, but DeMarco decides to shut down the power generator to the Astro Zombie, which causes a falling out between him and Satana.
You must not. You must find a way to control him.
There is no way. We must destroy him. Then we can complete mobilization of the second Astro Man, whose brain is morally pure.
Before expiring, he does manage to activate the new, morally pure Astro Man.
Kill them. I said kill.
Moral brain. Pure. But hey, it wouldn't be a classically bad horror film without some philosophical pontificating at the end.
Well, there you have it. DeMarco's genius didn't get him very far.
Well, as Dr. Petrovich said, there is one basic element of human life that can never be removed. The emotions.
And there you have it. Not a great film. It's been called one of the worst films of all time, but I wouldn't go that far. It does have issues. Two big ones. The first issue is the spy espionage plot really doesn't work. Seems like we're watching two different movies, and by this point the whole spy thing had been running out of steam, with the exception of Bond, of course. He was different, and he had actually started the whole spy craze of the 60s. Plus, when this came out, it's at the height of Vietnam, and people weren't really all that trustful of the powers that be, especially the government agencies. which is another problem with it. And but the main problem is it's boring. Just the camera just sits there. There's no, doesn't move. So every shot is static. And long scenes of talking. And they don't even move. It's just shot of someone standing talking. Cut to shot of someone replying. Cut back to, and it's just mind-numbing at times. And the stuff with John Carradine. Oh, I mean, stuff like this. And it's full of stuff like that. Just endless scenes of him tinkering with stuff. Or he's explaining stuff to Franchot. As if you've already known this, he's been his assistant, he knows how to work equipment. It's there for... It does nothing but eat up time to get this to a full-length film. On the plus side... Tura Satana in her slinky dresses. She wore her own clothes, and she gets to show off her karate skills. She kills people, and basically, even when she's just lounging around listening to the tape recorder, that at least is interesting because, well, I'm a guy. Let's just put it that way. And she is very attractive. And has a lot of screen presence and charisma. Carradine, for what he's allowed to do, is pretty good. He gets better at the end when he has to deal with all these things going on, and he's not going to allow his creation to be a killer. And so he gets to do some things there, but for the most part, he just kind of spouts off a lot of sci-fi babble. Yeah, and it's not as fun as the one I reviewed last week is. It's just kind of there. That's probably why most of his fans generally prefer the Corpse Grinders. There's a bit of satire and humor in that one, as it pokes fun at consumerism and corporate greed. And there's not really much else to say about this one, but please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and stay after the credits for my favorite scene.